Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another Two Talk with Your Dentist on thedentaire.com. I'm Dr. Rekha, and the Two Talk with Your Dentist is an initiative to increase oral and dental health awareness among people. Visit our website www.thedentaire.com to get more information about your oral and dental health. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and on LinkedIn. And in conversation with me today on the Two Talk, I have Dr. Mamatha Mishra. To give you a brief introduction about Mamatha, Dr. Mamatha's journey in food and nutrition and safety began in the year 2002 when she noticed a lack of exchange of knowledge between the scientific community and the industry. Hence, she felt an urgent need to raise the challenge of imparting knowledge and bring about a culture of food nutrition and safety in our country. For the past 19 years, she has tried to connect food safety and nutrition awareness with the urban Indian population and has worked extensively with the IT, ITES, and the BPO companies across metropolitan cities of India like Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, Pune, Mumbai, and Calcutta. She is the founder, Health First Services, and the founder of Green Tick Food Tech Private Limited. She has pioneered the concept of food safety in large IT companies, providing F&B services to their employees. She has a proven track record of successfully revamping the food service industry attached with the IT sector. She has championed the cause of food safety and initiated large-scale projects with widespread societal impact, conceptualized and built a universal software application for managing food safety system. Dr. Mamatha has a BSc and MSc in Food Science and Nutrition and a PhD in Food Safety from the Mysore University. She has also held roles of a nutritionist with the Sports Authority of India, business development manager with the BioBody Fuels, product trainer with the Amway. She is a national level research personnel for food safety training and certification under the FSSAI, FOSTAC training partner with the FSSAI, certified hygiene rating auditor for the FSSAI, subject matter and expert at National Law School of India University and other nutrition colleges. She is the life member and ex-joint secretary of the IDA Bangalore chapter, project head for Bangalore, project teacher by the WHO under Dr. Anup Mishra Diabetic Foundation of India. She has done numerous talks on health and nutrition, fitness, and food safety for employees of large IT corporations and has published several papers in scientific journals. Dr. Mamatha, thank you so much for joining me in today's To Talk with Your Dentist conversation, and a warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Rekha, and it's such a pleasure to be here with you. I'm such a fan of your, series, and honestly, I've really wanted to be a part of them for a long time.
Long
My
time.
apologies that
No,
I've
I
come
think,
in late, but I'm so excited and looking forward to our talk today.
yeah. I guess we had been coordinating for quite some time, and somehow I think the time was probably, now that I could manage
Now
to
is a good
get.
start. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, Mamta, we do talk about a lot of aspects. Since you're in the field of dietetics and nutrition, which again is about food basically, and
Right.
since we as dentists, again, we work with the operatory, with the setup in our body that is associated with food again. I think
Right.
we discuss and talk about a lot of aspects when it comes to either oral health or about diet. But I think one of the most neglected part in this entire process is chewing. Like when
Mm,
you take in
mm,
the
mm.
food, to chew the food, probably, how to chew the food, how many times you have to actually chew your food. Do you think all this makes a difference to the health of the patient?
Absolutely. See, food is not just to fill your stomach. It plays a very critical role in how you feel when you eat food. For example, there are certain foods which are like which give you a bliss point, which means it's a feeling that is mentally giving you a high. For example, when you taste salt and sugar is so addictive. So we always talk about salt, sugar, and fat, which are known to be ingredients which can really change the way a mind feels about, whether it's your mood, whether how you feel within the system. So food is very, very critical, and when we talk about the way people chew food, yes, it's a very critical aspect of the entire digestion. So when you see food, one, you're consuming food, physically, but you're also consuming it mentally. And the process of digestion actually starts in your mouth. So when we start chewing food, the brain gets a signal, and this signal is to the brain saying that I have started consuming food. And from the brain, in turn, the signal goes to your stomach, for it to start preparing the stomach juices, your liver and your bile, everything starts to kind of form. And if you don't chew food, then the brain does not really get the signal that you have started consuming food. So there are times where if you have just gobbled down something, like for example, if it's a very soft textured food which does not involve chewing, or a very high fatty food which just slips inside, the brain actually doesn't get the signal and the stomach is not really ready, and that can lead to so much of indigestion or strain on the stomach because the juices haven't formed. And another important aspect when it comes to chewing is, see, food is all about pleasure. You have to enjoy
Enjoy
uh,
eating.
what you're eating, and which means that you have to be in a calm environment, you have to look at what you're consuming, you have to feel it. And texture is such a critical part. Like if you've picked up a medu vada, and if it's not crispy enough, or if you've picked up an idli and it's
And
not
some
soft
soft.
enough, or if, yes, so what happens is, your chewing is so critical. The way you feel in your mouth is so important. And I personally feel that is one of the areas which is really neglected by
Yes.
a lot of the people I meet, wherein they don't give importance to chewing at all. There is a saying that you have batisi, 32 teeth, because you have to chew it 32
Two
times. This is
times.
what, yes, this is what I've heard. In
Yes.
in Ayurveda, they insist that you chew. But as parents also, I see that a lot of times people are in so hurry to feed their children and be done with their duties,
Yes.
that they don't have the patience for the child, to allow the child to chew or allow the child to feel the texture. They're just waiting for that one spoon to be done and the next spoon is pushed in. It's, or you're watching a television and
Really
eating, so that pleasure and the feel that you feel in your mouth is lost. So I
lost.
think chewing is so critical and is lost in this whole process. So as a dentist, I think I would urge you that you please ask your
Patience.
patients to chew food and feel the food in their mouth, and encourage their children also to enjoy that entire activity of
Yes. Eating.
feeling the natural. Like for example, when you eat a ragi dosa, there is a certain amount of sweetness, there's a certain fiber texture. These are things which are natural instincts. If you don't give it importance,
Importance.
and if you're eating in a hurry, rather than giving it 30 minutes, you want to be done with 10 minutes, then it's lost. So I think their chewing is so important.
Yeah, and also I think like you said, since the mouth is the very first stage of digestion, I mean, even during school days, I think anybody who has done even their basic schooling will know that this is something that we would have studied even in school, that you have so much of digestion process that starts in the mouth. So do you think if
Yeah.
this is not given enough time, the later when it goes to the stomach, so do you think the food is not prepared enough, for the stomach to take in the next stage of digestion?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in case, if you have not chewed your food enough, the juices are not formed in the right quantity. and there is a lot of effort that the stomach has to put in to actually digest the food. So carbohydrate digestion actually starts off in your mouth.
Wow.
So if you know, when you eat rice or roti or any of this, the amylase that is there in the saliva, that actually starts, the enzymatic action starts right there. So carbohydrate digestion is already initiated in your mouth,
Mouth.
and that's the reason why saliva has to form enough saliva, has to kind of
Be
mix with
generated.
your food. One is for the movement, for it to pass through the peristaltic movement in your gut, so that it moves through your esophagus to your stomach. Because a lot of times when you don't chew and you just gulp, it
Gulping it.
goes and gets stuck.
Yes, sir.
Children especially do that. So it is very important that we chew appropriately so that your stomach doesn't strain. Also, your the small intestine and large intestine, where largely they spend where food spends a lot of time, where
Time.
absorption of nutrition happens. So this whole process can be a lot more comfortable on the stomach. For example, if you look at some of the diseases that we see today, or say malabsorption of nutrition
Yes.
that happens, like say obesity, I would say one of the reasons for that is that you don't chew food. And a lot of times people are in a hurry, like you're going to office and you want to be done with it, so it's more like a chore. It's not something that you're doing to nourish
Yeah.
yourself. It's just like a tick, that I've finished
I'm
my
already
breakfast, now
done.
I'm headed.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Like children have to be pushed to school. So I think
School.
somewhere that whole thing in following the routine, the joy of food, and you're not really giving your body the time it deserves. So uh, definitely digestion does get affected, and it's very important that we learn to chew, and we help children learn it. Because if they
Yes.
don't learn it as a child, at a later point, if you ask them ki wait, eat slowly, they
Slowly.
won't do it. Yes, yes. So like I myself have gone through it, where I consciously work on myself to eat slow.
Yes.
And
Slow.
when nowadays when I meet children and the mother complains saying that my child is so slow, I say it's
Slowly.
good. It's good. Yeah, it is absolutely fine. Let him or her eat very peacefully, take his or her own time, let them
Time.
relish that food and then consume.
But Banda, also sometimes what happens is, I think sometimes children especially, they just probably sit with that plate of food and make it go cold. Also. Probably that is also not a great idea. I think that's where the concern for the mothers comes in. Like they sat with that food. So I think some children also keep that morsel of food in their mouth. And a lot of my patients, they come
I
in for that.
I
This child doesn't chew. She just keeps it in the mouth. And as a dentist, what happens is we have a concern, because when the food remains there for so long, that's probably leading to a decay process in the child's mouth. So I think it's a
yeah.
pretty
Hmm, 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 hmm.
complicated issue in terms of training. So
Yes.
how long do you think? I mean, what do you think ideally a meal time should be? Like
See,
within what?
if I have to answer your first question, wherein children hold food in their mouth, it's very important that when you introduce children to food, you help them understand the natural flavors and textures, and how to consume food. Help them, adopt to each of these different aspects of food. The smell of it. How do you actually understand the sensory aspects? So here, it's a very critical role that parents play. Where I've seen a lot of times where children are holding their food, and when they are scolded, there is a glass of water next to them. So what they do is they still don't chew. They just take that sip of water and push the food down their throat, which means that they still haven't chewed, and they're forcefully consuming that food and not enjoying it. So my suggestion would be that parents spend more time with children during their meals. Talk to them about food and expose them to those small little things. Read up about what is, like for example, if you made a paneer tikka, talk about what is paneer tikka, what is the source of it, how should you consuming, how should you look for the freshness of a particular food? How should you be sensitive? Because if you ask me nowadays, I I say that cooking is a life skill. Like
Yes.
you learn to probably a taekwondo or a karate or or education. I would say cooking also is a life skill, and for you to learn cooking, you have to allow children to learn what food is, the source, how you kind of cook it, and how you consume it. There is a way combinations that coming, and the most critical part is you don't know how it feels when it's in the stomach. Anyways, it'll all get mixed up. But what you feel in your mouth is very
Mouth.
important.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
yes.
there, I think, your teeth and your tongue, your oral hygiene plays such a critical role. And like, for example, in old people, chewing is such a big problem because they don't have teeth, or their oral hygiene, I don't know how they're maintained. So geriatric nutrition again becomes so critical. Like children, if you see, they normally have a pickle or an extra salt added because their taste buds have reduced.
Yes,
They can't feel the taste, they can't chew it. So I think there it's very important that at home, I think there's a very critical role that all of us play in ensuring that the food is right and eaten appropriately at the right temperature, instead of watching a television, or
yes,
it should be like a pleasant atmosphere when you're consuming food.
yes.
So
So
that is my take on.
yeah. So I think worldwide there are so many cultures which pay so much attention to food. Like it's like a tradition. The food is served in a particular way, that you sit in a particular place. The place is cleaned well before and after eating. And I think these are the kind of things that have to be followed. Because I think
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see. Mentally, you have to be prepared to eat food.
food.
There is a certain, like we say, you could be eating the best of nutrition. Maybe a lot of people like, are going organic, and or say they are sourcing it from a specific place. Maybe I like that specific biryani. Like maybe you and me are on the same table and consuming food, but if your mental state is different and my mental state is different, like somebody is happy, somebody is sad, then the same nutrition consumed, your body will still not take it.
Take it.
So it is very critical that you are in a peaceful state of mind. You watch what you're eating, you feel what you're eating. So these are so critical. What happens in your tongue, according to me, is one of the most critical aspect of the entire health. People don't realize, but
Yes,
chewing, I would say, is so critical to health.
right.
And most of the time people don't realize the importance of those etiquettes on the table, wherein you sit quietly, you
Yeah.
don't talk business, you don't talk about unpleasant things, you are
Exactly.
just enjoying
Enjoying
that food.
food. I know.
So I think
I
that's so important.
Yes, yes. I think this topic probably is such a I would say, in a way, something that's not been paid attention to, but still is the probably the most important part in the entire process of food eating and nutrition.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't see many people talking about it, and I'm
Yes,
so glad that we are actually touched upon, this
this
topic today. I
I know.
hope after watching the show, people go back and chew their food, and also, make it a routine for their children at home. So I
Yes.
really hope.
Yes, yes. So that was so informative, Dr. Mamta, and thank you so much for joining me in today's talk. And I really hope I can get you back on this platform or rather talk on any other interesting topic.
Absolutely, absolutely. I look forward to. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Dr. Rekha, for having me on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. So, viewers, that was Dr. Mamta Mishra, who did talk to us about the importance of chewing your food well before swallowing. And I hope you did get some insights about this particular aspect of food and nutrition. If you have any doubts or queries, please don't hesitate to write to us and we will get back to you on that. So until next time that I come back with another expert on to talk about your oral and dental health, keep smiling, stay safe, and be happy. Thank you.